Today I'm going to share one of my favorite recipes from my mom, this vegetable stew. It was one of my favorites as a child. So let's go through the process. First of all, I would like to state that I know everybody has different methods for cooking the same meal, and that's absolutely fine. This is how my mom made it, and this was one of my fondest memories as a child. Anytime I came back from school and I saw my mom making this vegetable stew, something in my spirit always lifted. So I knew that I had to make my mom make this recipe for my channel. So I'm going to leave all the ingredients in the description box. If you want to make it, please check the description box. It will have all the ingredients and the full method in there. First, we're going to start by cutting all the vegetables. Please note that I come from a family where we like chunky vegetables. I want to see my vegetables in my stew, okay? Like, I want to see it. I want to bite into it. And I know that this may not be for everyone. So please do as you wish. If you want your vegetables to be tiny, please cut them into very, very small pieces. If you want it bigger than what I'm cutting, it's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, the recipe is yours to make and refine. Take out whatever doesn't work for you and please use what works for you, because anytime I post recipes I get a lot of pushbacks, whether my ingredients are too big, they are too small, they are too this, they are too that. At the end of the day, you are eating the food. Take what works for you and then leave the rest out. So I'm done cutting or chopping the tomatoes. I know in vegetable stew some people prefer to blend the tomatoes, but in this recipe we are going to be cutting or chopping it. We are also chopping the onions as well and all the other vegetables. And with the vegetables, honestly, you can use whatever you want. You can use whatever, it's your preference. But what we use is tomatoes, some onions, bell peppers, green beans, carrots, and then cucumbers. I know I've gotten so many comments of people saying they don't know why I'm cooking cucumbers and it's not safe and it makes it taste funny and weird. I don't know about you, but I love the taste of cooked cucumbers. So if that's something that doesn't work for you, that is fine. You can, as I said, adjust the recipe as you want. So all the vegetables are being cut. This recipe is very, very simple. Once you're done cutting your vegetables, you are almost done with everything, because it's like my mom calls it fast connection. Like if you're a Ghanaian, you will understand what fast connection means. Fast connection means like quick, quick, quick. Like you don't spend too much time on anything. Everything is quick, quick, quick. You put everything inside and it's ready to go. So at this point, we've also blended our pepper, onions, ginger, and garlic. So one thing you would notice in this recipe is that this recipe of vegetable stew is a bit lighter than the regular one you would see online or make yourself. So we're starting the stew by putting in our curry powder and then adding in the blended stuff. You can see that it's not as thick as you would want it. This is how it's supposed to be. So next we're going to put in the vegetables. So one other thing about this recipe is that the vegetables are going to be pre-cooked with the pepper, onions, ginger, and garlic before anything else is added. I know in so many recipes of vegetable stew, this is done at the latter part. That's why I said it's a bit different. This is how she makes it. If you want more crunchy vegetables, you can wait it out and put the vegetables in the latter part of the recipe. You're going to get something different, but it's still going to be a delicious vegetable stew. So once that's cooked for like a few minutes, like 5 minutes, she then goes in with the tomato paste, and then we are going to give this a good mix. And already I know I'm not the only one that's seeing the version. The stew is looking so good already. I'm also going to cover this for the tomato paste to also cook a bit before we go in with the mackerel. And one other thing, my family loves mackerel. We put it in soups, we put it in stews, we put it in almost everything. If you don't like mackerel, that's completely fine and optional. Now we go in with the seasoning. She's adding some seasoning cube and then nutmeg. Here too, you can add any stew seasoning you want to add. My mom is a very simple person when it comes to cooking. Even though she's been a caterer for 30 years, she cooks with very simple stuff. But when you taste it, you would understand the meaning of less is more. So now she's putting in her beef. And for this recipe as well, the beef is not fried, but you can fry your beef if you want. But this also adds to like the flavor of the stew and the taste of the stew. It gives it a different kind of vibe, because you're adding the meat stock and the meat itself into the stew, and you can see that it's a bit softer. Did I say softer? It's a bit lighter than your regular vegetable stew, but that is the vision we are going for. Okay, and look at that. Just look at that. I know I don't have to convince you that this is going to taste good, and you should definitely save this recipe and try it. It's very simple, as I said. You start by putting your oil, the curry powder, the blended pepper mix, and then the vegetables goes in, the tomato paste goes in, your seasoning goes in, and then if you want to add mackerel, it goes in, and finally your beef stock and then the beef itself, and like you let it sit on the fire for like 5 minutes and it's ready, and you can serve it with your hot rice and enjoy yourself. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye.